four, three, two, one, go!
Yo, good evening, good people, baby. Y'all know what time it is. It's AA Sports in the house. Straight sports, no chaser. You got the super team of Sports Talk. That's us. One half of it, I'm Diego Barichnikov coming in, saying the intro backwards as hell. Got my main man, my partner in crime, 6 foot under post-up champ. Tell these people who you are.
What's good people? It's your boy Uncle Hate, the other A and AA Sports, broadcasting live here on a Tuesday. 2 games into the finals. Shit done got real, but we here to talk about it. What's up, homie? What's good with you?
No, I can't call it. When we start the show off on that note, I think it's going to be a good night.
Yeah.
The people, we appreciate y'all as always tuning in, checking us out, whether you listen to us on the Spreaker or the Apple iTunes podcast platform, or whether you would like to watch our ugly ass faces on the YouTube channel. We appreciate all of the support. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep leaving us some comments. Keep sharing the content. We see y'all peeking in and checking us out more and more. So keep
appreciate
coming.
that.
We got plenty of room on the couch for y'all.
Absolutely.
For y'all. We're going to talk about people sleeping on the couch and being on vacation, because in these NBA finals, there's a couple of key players that are not showing up. We're going to talk about that. Of course, we have there's not much going on this week, actually.
I feel like a freestyle show. Once you get past these finals, this is going to be a get it how you live situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just going to jump right on into it. It ain't even nothing to really give a preview on tonight. We're going to talk NBA finals, and we're going to throw some other shit in there. But as we always get started with, it's going to be something like the news, open bar segment of the show. This is where we give y'all a little tomfoolery. Things that we've seen across the internet over the course of the week that entertained us or gave us a little chuckle. So we hope y'all enjoy. Uncle Hey, as usual, do the honors and start us off.
All right, good people. Normally it tends to be a theme of some sort when I'm doing this, something like the news stuff. But this week I got a few stories that involve finesse. And this finesse is not racist at all, but y'all got to stop taking these phone calls from these Indian cats and giving them money over the phone. This first story, a UGA Ponzi scheme. Gentleman by the name of Saeed Arbib. He was 22 and done defrauded 8 people and their parents out of $269,000. He told these people he had this company. He was promising, 59% gain. 56% gain and all this stuff. Well, none of it worked. Y'all people handed this cat money. He took it to Vegas, gambling trips, adult entertainment. Basically, he tricked off y'all bread and partied.
Didn't he? Because I think I saw this story. Didn't he run it out of one of the frat houses?
A frat house at UGA. Yeah. I mean, I trust the homies, but we're talking real numbers here. He had to be a trustworthy cat, though, for folks to invest this type of bread with him. He had to be.
Yeah, but in some circles, it's not unknown to throw around $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in investments for certain things. It's nice to have that kind of pocket change laying around and be able to just invest it, ain't it?
Man, what type of smoke is that? You lost that type of bread. This cat done cost your family that type of bread. And they said when they locked him up, he had $350 in the account for the business when they locked him up.
But these ain't the type of people that's probably even really missing $15,000, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
these are the same cats that are probably getting an invite to that section of the stadium where they're gonna be able to drink beer now in the SEC stadiums if you pledge $25,000 to the school.
Yes,
it's probably that crowd.
Gotcha.
Yes, well, I don't feel sorry for them for losing 15.
No, I mean I just kind of feel like that's on them though. You take a risk with most investments anyway. You clearly didn't vet this shit effectively if you got caught out there like that. So that kind of falls on you. Another story, I'm jumping around in regards to another Indian gentleman who was locked up. They're running these IRS scams. They're calling folks saying they owe them money. and they're threatening to lock them up. Now, the kick about this is you got to be some dumb people to where they sit there and say, well, you owe us this money, and they're threatening the residents or the people, and they're saying that you go buy a prepaid card, and my people going to come pick it up from you. Is that not the stupidest shit? The IRS is going to tell you to buy a prepaid card, and they're going to send somebody to pick it up.
That's and people be falling for this shit. People be falling for this shit. You know, and it may be somebody listening right now falling for this shit. They just don't want to say it. So let me help y'all people out for a second, okay? In case you didn't know, the IRS does not communicate by phone calls. They will not call you when it's time for them to get bread. They like to correspond through letter, okay? So,
and the mail gonna get to you. That loss in the mail shit don't happen. It's gonna find you.
No,
it's real.
They send it certified.
Yes, sir.
So when you are talking to people over the phone, just stop giving out your information because some of y'all are just way too gullible.
Stop. All right, next story. In regards to when people should learn to quit when they're ahead. This gentleman, Raheem Peak, 36 years old. He got arrested on May 28th on 8 felony shoplifting charges and 3 misdemeanor charges. He robbed the Home Depot on Jimmy Carter 16 times. 16 times in a year. Because if you hit the lick one time, maybe 2, you're going to keep going back to the same place.
How many times one place have to get robbed though before they beefed up security or something?
You would think it's cameras everywhere at Home Depot. Hell, you on camera when you at the register. You would think that they would catch you. He got $10,000 worth of tools and supplies out of them in a year. I'm not, saying you guys need to steal, but if you're gonna steal, don't go to the same place 16 times in a year. Even if you winning, that's just not smart.
So he's stealing. Okay, I'm thinking I'm thinking he robbed the place, like came in there like, hey, give me the shit out the safe.
No, he's shoplifting. Like,
okay, okay. That's why I'm like, how does somebody do that 16 times? Okay, I'm with you. Okay.
Whoever's in their loss prevention department, trash.
I was about to say loss prevention cost is high in retail, especially. I mean, them dudes, I think loss prevention agents, they probably they don't make a lot of money. I'll just say
no,
so
not enough. Yeah. All right, this is something interesting. Going back to one of my favorite states for stories, Florida. A bill was proposed to make a registry for the pimps and the johns in Florida because of the sex trafficking and the slave trade in regards to women. Now it's not going to be public, but you can go. Well, it's not going to be publicized, but you can go pull it up if you went to the station or whatever. So they're basically going to start putting your information in a book when you go out there to, buy some thing. Okay. I'm being honest here. Transaction, long as it's not a child, a transaction between 2 adults. Why are we still locking folks up for prostitution when it's legal in Las Vegas? Why?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. That's a very good question. No, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that one. I got an answer for a lot of things, but not that one.
Yeah, just cops ain't got nothing else to do. It just seems like it's a whole lot of other shit we could be doing besides worrying about what person done made a transaction with another person. Again, long as it's not kids. I ain't saying, these pimps who be like, getting these little girls to do this stuff, but
But I guess when you start throwing in the sex trafficking piece of it, though, that's been real big, especially here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That part of it is kind of fucked up. So I guess I can't laugh at that part of it.
Yeah, that's very fucked up.
Sorry, people. This doesn't come off very as we're very concerned. I know, but
we had the same concern when they busted them women for paying for their kids to go to school. It just seems like there's other shit. Stop. You know what? Let's divert all this attention to stopping the violence in Chicago. Let's focus on that. 52 people got shot this past weekend. 52
in one weekend.
Whew. 52.
Shit.
It's not even like July and August yet, where it's gonna be like get mad hot. It ain't even there yet.
Right. It's gonna be a long summer.
Yeah, I digress. All right, this one's funny here. Dude got married, and his brother-in-law shot him the day of the wedding. The gentleman by the name of Kenneth Mills got mad at his wife, or his fiance's brother-in-law, because he asked him to do two things. He asked him to paint "now married" on his truck, so when they ride off, and then he told him you can't bring your dog to the ceremony. Well, brother-in-law didn't do neither one of them. Ray Macy showed up with the dog. They got into it. Ray pulls out the gun, hits him in the head, and shoots him in both legs.
Wow.
Now, here's the kick. Will his wife let him press charges? That's her brother. That's her brother. So,
hey, man, spouse come first. Spouse come first, or you will be single again.
Hey, yeah, what folks show up? What happened? We ain't see shit. It's at your reception. We ain't see shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, got a few more and then we're done. This one's interesting here. A gay bar in Chicago by the name of the Progress Bar. This is interesting. A gay bar stated that they were no longer going to allow rap music to be played. Nothing aggressive. They said, we are stopping it. And if there's a problem, let them know we're moving forward. No Cardi B or Nicki Minaj, none of that stuff. This was in an email sent to the employees. This is a gay bar. Well, club.
That's majority. Most of their fans is gay.
Right, but that whole thing, they're supposed to be inclusive, and
Yeah. And I ain't saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying they a lot of gay fans, of gay fans,
a whole lot. So of course it was some backlash in regards to this situation. The LGBTQ community got mad about it. They labeled them racist. Now, how your bar called Progress, but then you shutting down certain music being played? Well, they went after him for a long time with this. He had to shut it down. Of course, he put a weak-ass apology out, said we're trying to change the situation. But that's just not a good look for a gay bar to turn around and say you can't play certain music. That's not inclusive, and that's kind of part of the thing, from what I gather, being inclusive. So,
right,
doesn't make sense to me.
They sometimes they tend to forget that.
All right, this last one, I know you had to read this one. Did you hear about the principal from the Catholic school that was on the school trip?
Yes.
And got caught at the strip club?
Yes, run it.
Okay, a Louisiana Catholic school principal was arrested in Washington, D.C. because he went to a gentleman's club and refused to pay his bill. I done been in a whole lot of strip clubs in my time. I done spent some time there, and I know the Lord ain't never said, I got your bill. He ain't never said that.
If he does, the security will gladly show you heaven.
Exactly. So homie refused to pay his bill. Now the kids were asleep, so it wasn't like the kids was outside in the bus. He was like, "All right, we're gonna be right back." Nah, the kids were asleep. He said, "I'm gonna step out for a while." Left the other chaperones with the children. He went to the strip club, and that's why he got locked up. And he quit his job via text message the next day.
That was the funny part. He quit via text. That was funny as fuck that he quit via text. Also, you leaving out one other funny ass piece though. I don't know if the article that you saw it or had it on there or not. Rather, he did all of this with his service dog with him.
Oh no, I ain't know that.
Yes, he had a service dog with him in the strip club. In the strip club.
Oh my! I be liking the details. I want to know what his tab was. Did he trick off? Because the girls ain't gonna know him in Atlanta clubs, at least. You ain't running up no tab getting dances. So unless he was just drinking to get drunk and just flat out said he wasn't gonna pay.
They was in D.C. They probably had been to all type of monuments and museums and shit all day. The kids was probably getting on his goddamn nerves. Yeah. He probably went in there and took like 3 or 4 shots to the head real quick.
Yeah, just stepped out, go see what was good. Because if he went to a club here, clearly he's been to a club in New Orleans. Clearly. So, but yeah, he quit his job and now he's got some charges for public intoxication and possession of an open container of alcohol. So he probably had a short dog on him. A little pint. A little pint get you straight nowadays. That's all you really need.
Or probably if he probably had a flask on him that he traveled with.
Yeah.
Probably had a little something on him, but that was funny because it was crazy. I'm looking at the one because I was going to have the same story, but he was also a part-time reserve police officer. So he had to quit. He had to quit that job too.
Damn. Tough break, man. Pay your bill.
Who let his ass in the club with a service dog if he wasn't blind?
Man.
What service was the dog providing? That's what I want.
Not to be racist again. It had to be a white club. Had to be. You think you can walk a service dog in the Blue Flame? A service dog?
I mean, if you blind, they might let you in there with them. I mean,
if you're blind, yes.
I wouldn't bring my service dog to the club. That's just me. But hey, blind people got to see ass and titties too. So I mean, I guess you got to kind of make a connection. I mean, what do? Do you make them rent out the VIP? You can't just have this dog walking around.
This just took my head a whole nother way. You said blind people got to see ass and titties too. How does that work?
Oh, damn.
I'm sure it's blind dudes that go to the club. I'm sure.
Can we count the little bumpy parts of the areola as braille?
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Am I going too far? Am I
going off the rails for real? And it's early.
FCC gonna be calling. All right.
Yeah, it's all good. Good shit. Don't pay your tabs, people. Don't go to the club and run no tab up. Don't pay it.
That's the moral of the story.
Moral to the story.
All right, I only got a couple. The first one I want to start off with this. I can't even call them a couple. They're disgusting couple motherfuckers is what they are. We had this one chick, Samantha Kirshner, 21.
Okay.
She of Omaha, Nebraska. So let's just get the background setting straight. She lived with her mom her whole life, pretty much didn't know anything of her dad. Her and one of her homegirls decided to have like a challenge to see who could have sex with their father first.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. Now repeat that, people, in case you are wondering right now, did you hear me correctly? This girl and her friend had a contest, a challenge to see who could have sex with, relations, the hokey pokey, with their father first. Okay? That's the contest.
Not stepfather, just they dad.
They daddy.
That's that bullshit.
Okay. Contest set. All right. So Samantha, she gets in contact with her real pop. She ain't known him all her life. She get in contact through him with some kind of DNA service or whatever. They do a DNA test. 99.99999 Maury Povich %. You are the father of this young lady, right?
Oh no.
They proceed to get in a relationship and have sex.
With her father.
With her father.
I saw some shit like that on SVU the other week.
Okay. Now, we're not done. The police department or whatever get wind of the situation, so they start investigating. What do these two people do when they get wind of this investigation going on into their relationship? Guess what they do?
Get married.
They went and got married.
SVU. I just saw this shit the other week.
You got a daughter and a father who have just come to even know each other within a couple weeks, and now they getting married, all from a goddamn contest. That's a little much for me.
And that's in Nebraska.
In Nebraska, yeah.
It's tough shit.
Next up, this one goes back to our good old state of Florida. Now we all, as men, if we being honest, we off the rails tonight. We gonna be grown. As men, there's been some times, with a certain young lady trying to get some relations, and you pop off too damn fast.
Happens.
Shit happens. Shit happens. All right. This next story is taking it to the next level. This dude and his lady, I do not have their names. Yes, I do. Andrew Shinhalt and the young lady's name, they did not release. Okay. They're having foreplay with a loaded gun.
I heard about this.
All right. They are rubbing the gun across each other's genitalia areas for arousal and pleasure. Oh boy accidentally discharges the gun.
Jesus Christ.
They rush our girl to the hospital. She dies. Dead.
Jesus
Our
Christ.
buddy popped off early. Now he is going to be facing what charges he facing?
That's manslaughter off top.
I think that's a charge that he caught. He got a $50,000 bond. But yeah, manslaughter with a weapon is what he caught. Loaded gun. Does the tongue and fingers and things not work? Toes, does that not work anymore? We going to guns? That's what we doing? Dildos?
Bruh.
Those don't have those things?
Bruh, I'm lost. These kids nowadays so wild. Just wild. And now you're going to jail. For at least 25. At least.
Then killed your girl over that. My last story. This is a follow-up. This is a follow-up.
We like the follow-ups.
And actually, I don't know if we did the initial story or not, but this everybody knows about this. Lady's name is Pamela Taylor out of West Virginia. She's basically the lady that called Michelle Obama an ape or ape in heels.
We did her. Like yeah.
Okay. Remember, I think we did the story where it come to find out that she had defrauded FEMA.
She was embezzling.
Yeah, said that her home had gotten damaged in one of those hurricanes or storms, I believe it was. There was nothing wrong with her home. She was living in it. So, and then they were giving her money.
Shit.
I think she ended up getting like $18,000 in FEMA benefits. Okay. Her sentencing came up, and her ass was going to jail for 10 months, and she would be on 3 years of supervised probation, when she released, and she got to pay a $10,000 fine. Hey man, that thing called karma, it's a bitch.
Man, don't forget nothing. Speaking of folks going to jail, you see they transported 45's boy to Rikers today. He got to be in segregation. Think of Manaport.
I didn't see the story, but I know you're talking about. Yeah,
he got to be in segregation. They're not putting him in G and Pop. That's not happening, right?
Nah. Where did they say he was going? He's probably going to Camp Cupcake anyway.
No, he's going. They transferred him to Rikers today.
Oh, he went to Rikers. Okay, yeah, that's not Camp Cupcake.
No.
That's all I got on the stories. Last thing I got before we get started. Shout out to Jay-Z, who actually became the first hip hop billionaire. I know some of us thought it was Dr. Dre, but Dr. Dre had kind of shot off at the mouth a little too soon. He's still rich as fuck, but he's just a little shy of $1 billion. But Jay-Z, man, just a quick breakdown of where he gets most of his billion from. $310 million in Ace of Spades champagne. He fully owns that. Another $210 million in other cash and investments, including, he's got about $70 million. He has about $70 million in stake in Uber. I think Beyonce does too. They got in before it went public.
Smart.
I think they did some things, and instead of asking for money, they asked for stock in exchange for payment.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came up big on that. He also has $100 million worth of Duce, $100 million in Tidal, $75 million in Rock Nation, $75 million is what his music catalog is worth. He's got another $70 million worth of art. That's a hell of an art collection.
Yes, sir. It absolutely is. Shout out to Jigga, man.
And then another $50 million in real estate. So I mean, shout out to them. And that's just him on a personal level. Him and Beyonce already combined was worth $1 billion with them combined together. But now he worth $1 billion. She worth, I think, about $500 or $600 million.
So just listen to this story. You know exactly, people, why he did that 444 album. I ain't giving $500 million away. We got to work this shit out. It must be worked out. And my last thing on that Jigga thing, I got one more story we didn't touch, but my last thing on this Jigga thing, you think that cat who he was talking to finally found out the difference between a 4.0 and a 4.6?
Beat it, cock.
Anyway, hey, last crazy story. Did you see that cruise ship that got loose and rammed into that? That's crazy.
Yeah. That was it was somewhere overseas, I think, in like Europe,
Italy or somewhere.
Italy. That's right. That's right.
This shit was just running loose. Just
somebody sleep at the wheel. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. Hopefully, no one was hurt, or not that many people. But we'll see.
We got a lot of basketball to cover, but I want to, before I forget, because we always tend to forget, let's talk boxing real quick.
Okay.
I want to raise a glass to the Ruiz gentleman. And the reason why I'm raising that glass is this is for all those cats who don't make it to the gym all the time. Don't make it to the gym. He missed a couple days, couple weeks, maybe some months, but he tough. He got in there and kicked Joshua Anthony's ass. Anthony Joshua, I'm sorry. Kicked his ass on Saturday. Because I'm gonna let you have the floor on this one because this was a shock. Tell me how bad this messes up the whole title picture now.
Yeah, shit is kind of fucked up now, especially on the unification because we was wanting Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua to get it on so we can have a unification bout, a heavyweight unification bout, which ain't happened in I can't even fucking remember because the Klitschko boys both held titles and they refused to fucking fight each other. Yeah. So
Did Ruiz have all the titles at one point, Lennox?
I believe he did. Okay. But this at the very least it delays a lot of shit. I'll say that. Okay. Because Wilder was already on the path, and I know he was tweeting who ducking him and all that shit afterwards. Right. But the fact of the matter is he signed up to fight a couple of other foes that he felt that he needed to set the record straight with, which is fine. Yeah. I almost said Ruiz. Ortiz, the cat he's getting that he's going to fight.
That's the dude he beat in Brooklyn a while back, right?
Right. Okay. It was a pretty good fight. Yeah. But he's gonna fight him again, and then he's gonna fight Fury again. So he already kind of had those two lined up. So we already kind of knew earliest that we could possibly get Joshua Wilder was gonna be late next year anyway. Well, that's probably gonna be pushed back because Joshua was already signed up for a rematch to fight Ruiz again in November or December of this year.
So I'm trying to do the math in my head. They're probably not gonna fight till May of 20. That's too short. May of 20. Because that's a year. You got to get 2 fights in. So that's a year right there with 2 fights.
Wilder is fighting Ortiz when? Is it October?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I think September, October, he's going to fight him. So he's probably not going to fight Fury until about March, April. You know what I'm saying? Give or take. Even as late as May, possibly, depending on how long it takes him to get the fight set. Now, if Joshua win the rematch and get the belts back, then September or so of next year, I think is the earliest that we could see a Wilder Joshua fight.
But he's already committed to fight Fury too. So how can he make? So let me follow you. He's fighting Ortiz October of this year, right?
October or so of this year.
So you figure 6 months from then, May, give or take. Right.
Well, no. If he's fighting in October, they could possibly fight in March or April.
Okay.
So and then later on in the year, September would be early, probably October, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying, give or take. Because a lot of what determine whether they get back in the ring very quickly is, do they have a lot of cuts from the last fight? How long did that fight go? Did they get beat up a lot? See, this fight Wilder coming off of, he ain't break a sweat. So he can really fight soon. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how that fight go with Ortiz. But I'm guessing somewhere between March and May of next year, we'll get him and Fury again. And then later part of the year, fall, hopefully we'll get Joshua and Wilder. But if we don't, Joshua definitely done fucked up some money. He done definitely fucked up the money.
We really got to put a slush fund together for these upsets, because we'd have put some money on Ruiz. That would have rolled. We'd be straight.
And I had forgot about the fight.
Right.
I had forgot about the fight. So it's on that new streaming network. Is it Dan's? I don't know how you pronounce it.
That's that one that Canelo is advertising.
Right.
Okay.
I haven't. I'm not subscribed to it yet, so I wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. But I think the next fight Joshua fights when he fights Buddy again, it's going to be on that streaming network. So I don't know if they got a free trial or a free month or something. Maybe I'll pick it up.
There you go. Set your alarm to cut that off.
It's a damn before. You cut the cable to save money, and then you end up buying all these streaming services.
Yep. It adds up. It adds right back up. Are you ready to go to work?
Yes, sir. Let's get into this NBA Finals talk, man. We got a 1-1 series with Toronto and Golden State as they go back to Oakland, back to the Oracle. However, Golden State's going to be a little short on manpower, even shorter than they were when the series started.
Man, I mean, you talk about a war of attrition. You know, Iggy's already 78 years old. I know he hit that shot, but Iggy's 78 years old. And if y'all want to at me on that, give him 10 of them shots. See how many he make. Wide open in the gym, dolo. Right. Tell me how many of them he make. But KD's already hurt. Clay gets hurt game 2. Looney gets his chest encaved. I mean, this shit is not going well.
When I heard he got his chest caved in, literally, he got a fracture in his chest.
It didn't look like that hard of a hit, did it?
The fall looked like, damn, that hurt him. You know what I'm saying? But the impact didn't look like much at all.
Yeah. And you know the crazy part is with all the injuries, I think that's even more motivation for them to get this done. You know, we already knew they had motivation with KD being out because they want to be able to say they got one without him. But with all these injuries, if they can find a way to beat them 4 more games, well, not even 4, 3 more games in this situation, that's nuts. That's bad.
Yeah, it really is. I thought Toronto missed a really big opportunity to win game 2. I mean,
absolutely.
First half, they was pretty much in control, but they was letting Golden State kind of hang in that 8 to 12 point range.
Yep.
And that's like a 3-point lead for these cats. And then
pretty much
the start of that third quarter, the first 6 or 7 minutes, or however many minutes it was, where they went on that 18-0 run and went up
on the road.
On the road. I mean that was pretty much the game in a sense, but I also want to say Toronto got back in the game and had plenty of chances in the fourth quarter. They were getting stops. They just were not going down to the other end and scoring.
They were stopping them dudes heavy in the fourth quarter. That game right there is going to determine a lot. Now I'm saying it's going to determine a lot. If they turn around and win game 3, then we'll probably I can't say that because then they'd be up 3-1. So I can't say it won't matter. But they had legit chances to go up 2-0. They couldn't hit shit in the fourth quarter. Nothing.
Yeah, that was that was tough. A couple of things I want to point out.
Go ahead.
Let me back up to these first 2 games. Because I posed this question to you earlier. Actually, I'll get to that one second. Let me go on my little rant right quick first.
All right.
Kyle Lowry.
Bring him to the front of the congregation.
And this is some people. You got to watch what he does. This motherfucker fouls out damn near every game, and he's a point guard. And I know we discussed it on this show before. You know my feelings about guards in particular, but especially point guards fouling out of games. It shouldn't happen. Okay, it just should not happen. You should not be in foul trouble every damn game. And if you look at the fouls,
he's averaging 5.5 fouls a game in 2 games.
And look at the fouls that he gets. It's off dumb shit. Trying to grab rebounds over a 6'10" dude, reaching 94 feet from the court, reaching in between pick and rolls, trying to stop a player with your arm instead of moving your fucking feet, putting your hand in the ball area so they can do that fucking swipe through shit and get free throws.
Right. You know they're gonna do that.
It's maddening, man, to watch this little dude, man. I mean, I know he's a little bulldog, he's tough and all, but sometimes he ain't too smart when it comes to the fouling. And he's costing the team.
Remember we was on here a week ago. We were talking about, we was like, well, they got to hide Steph because Lowry going to get Steph in foul trouble. Well, we were wrong. It's Lowry in foul trouble.
Lowry in foul trouble and Fred VanVleet. Steph is still getting points, but Fred VanVleet is playing him pretty tough.
Taking the ball from him. You know, Steph's already loose with the ball, people. Y'all know that. That's nothing new. Turnovers don't matter to them.
Yep.
Fred's taking it from him. You know, you want to do all that dancing in my face, now I'm going to rush you and take the ball from him. So, you know, I love the fight in these cats. I love the fight in them. But they pissed that game away on Sunday. They had that game.
Yeah.
When Clay went out, Clay had 25 points when he went out the game.
Mm-hmm.
They were cooking. They was on their way. If you take Clay out, you ain't got KD already. You only got one dude essentially on the court that gonna get his own shot, and that's Steph. Draymond can't get his own shot. He can get a shot for you, but he can't get a shot for nobody else. I mean, for himself. So they had a chance.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be interesting going forward, especially in Game 3 if Clay can't go. I mean, Durant's already been ruled out. But Clay's saying he's optimistic. But to me, the tone, because I actually listened. I wanted to listen and watch the press conference today.
Yeah.
Just reading the transcript. I wanted to see his face and pick up the tone away of him saying he was going to play. I wasn't convinced.
No.
It sounded and looked a lot like lip service.
Hamstrings, dog. Hamstrings.
Right.
Let's just say a real contact sport like football. Dudes, they hamstrings, they're out 3 weeks, 3 to 4 in most cases. Yeah. So on the light side, that's 2 weeks in most cases. In the NBA, it ain't that type of contact. So at least 2 weeks.
Well, it just depends on whether he tweaked it or whether he actually tore it. If he just tweaked it, then maybe he can go. Put some heat on it or whatever. But if it's any type of tear or strain, I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
That means KD to the rescue.
It'll have to be Game 4. KD already ruled out Game 3. So we talk about Game 2 being a golden opportunity for Toronto. If Clay does not play tomorrow, you got KD out already. Iggy is still banged up. If you can't win Game 3, it's one thing to be in a close game, and I think they were actually down when Clay finally went out of the game, I believe. But it's one thing to kind of make that mental adjustment that, okay, now they don't have this guy mid-game. Now coming into the game from the start of the game that he may not be there. You got to put your foot down or put your foot on their throats and go.
Where the offense going to come from? You're going to double Steph. I'll let Boogie go one-on-one. I'm good with that. If Boogie gets 30 points in 25 minutes, bless his heart. Steph ain't about to beat me.
Yeah. And speaking of Boogie, I think that's an adjustment that Nurse needs to make. You can't let Boogie play 20, 25 minutes. You're not threatening him on defense.
Yeah, they didn't run him off a lot of them screen and rolls.
Nah. That's got to change. That's got to be something that changes. You talk about them not getting going back to the Warriors, about them not having anybody to create their own shots. I'm already sitting here and I'm looking at the free throw distribution these first couple of games, and it's pretty much Steph shooting all the fucking free throws.
Steph has shot a lot of free throws. He shot 23 free throws in 2 games.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, Clay averaging 6 free throws a game. He's second best. So if he ain't there and KD ain't there,
Steph,
where the points going to come from? You asking a whole lot of Jerebko and Cook and McKinney. You asking a lot of those kind of guys. Sean Livingston, you asking a lot of them scoring-wise. Now, they're going to hustle. They're going to play hard. But it's hard to ask those kind of guys to consistently give you what you need in a final series. This ain't regular season, fill in for a couple games, while we rest a couple players. While we play Orlando on the second half of a back-to-back on a Wednesday.
Right.
This ain't that. So we're going to see what happens.
God Melo could have got them some points off the bench.
Hey.
He sure could have, but y'all had to have Bogut, though. Mind you, he was already too deep at center, but you had to have Bogut.
Now, Bogut helped them. Bogut helped them in game 2, though. He had a couple of key buckets.
Yeah.
He had a couple of key buckets down the stretch that actually, helped them kind of keep that cushion just at Bay's length. But
I got to believe they're not going to allow Andrew Bogut to get 3 lobs in a game again.
Yeah, that can't happen.
But let's talk about Pascal Siakam. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, so it's a couple of rappers we need to talk about. Let's start with him. Go ahead.
This is a roller coaster. This is Siakam. You had a high on game 1. People was like, oh shit, Pascal had 30 points. I'm sorry, 32 points, 8 boards, and 5 assists. 14 and 17. Well, after that game, in case you people didn't see it, Draymond Green said, I'm taking that away. That's on me to eliminate him. And you know what? I'm not saying that Draymond stopped him completely because Pascal got his shots off. Jesus, he took 18 shots, only made 5 of them. But he's not consistent as the way they need him. We were talking about him last series. I don't think he showed up to game 6 or 7 after Embiid put him on his ass in the Philly series. He disappeared.
Quite quiet. He was quite quiet. And his skill set, I mean, like I said, he's in the running for most improved player this year. I still think that's going to go to D'Angelo Russell. But he's not the 32-point dude that we seen in game 1, and he's a little bit better than the 12-point dude I think we saw in game 2. He's somewhere in the middle.
If he can give you a solid 17.5, that's a go.
And it really can't be an if at this stage.
Yeah, you got to have
it. It really needs to be 20. Yeah. Honestly.
You can get 17.5, you can get 20.
Exactly. Now that 14, 15, 16 range, that's what I expect from Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I expect that from him. Now, the other Raptor I want to talk about, and he ain't showed up game 2, game 1, the last series, couple of games of series before that.
Yeah.
I just want, and people, I'm gonna let's let the people in on a little something that we've been doing for years.
Gotta explain it.
So people, when certain players don't show up and perform like they should do, we'll hit each other and be like, yo, so y'all over there on the couch chilling, y'all playing dominoes, what y'all doing? Because
let's tell the story of how it happened. Let's tell the story how it happened. The initial time this began, the Lakers were in the finals. And I was like, cuz, what the fuck's going on with Lamar Odom? And he was like, oh, he's at the crib. He's on my couch right now. He's been here since the start of the game. That's how it started. And it was true because Lamar Odom wasn't giving them shit. They were playing Boston, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They were playing Boston. That's how it began with Lamar Odom.
Right.
And that's our thing. People don't show up. They in his house in most cases.
They're one of the two of our houses, right? So this playoff, we had talked about who had been at my house for quite a bit. Was it Jason Tatum? That was early. It was somebody. Oh, Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, yes.
Ben Simmons was over. Ben Simmons was at the crib a lot chilling. All right, so that's been the running joke. But Danny Green of the Toronto Raptors, I told our co-host here, Uncle Hay, today that he must have signed him up for a 2, 3, 6 month lease.
Yeah.
At his crib. Not the nightly rental that I do, but he signed him up for a lease because this motherfucker ain't been present no time since they played Orlando the first round.
Because he basically took over the room that you was renting Ben Simmons. And you already told me the rates go up per round. So he been cooling for 2 rounds? Cooling.
Comcast was here 2 days ago. He got internet installed. So he planned on being here for a while, apparently.
He hasn't shown up at all. And when we were talking about it earlier, I was like, well, damn, he's supposed to get paid this summer. He ain't helping himself right now. At all. Yeah.
Danny Green, you got to show up, partner. You got to show up, man.
You can't just be Kawhi's man. That don't really help. Because it's not like Kawhi going to speak for you. That ain't going to happen. You a 3-point specialist. God damn it. If your team is taking 30 to 40, sometimes 53 pointers a game, I need you to
forget how many you hit. I need you to at least attempt more than 5. I don't even think he doing that right now.
That breakdown you sent me early, he scored double digits in like the last 2 rounds once. That's unacceptable.
I think that was 11. He had an 11-point game.
11, yeah, that's unacceptable. You know, now we can't put that back on the coach because, I mean, you're out there. I'm sure they're finding you, but I think he plays hot potato a lot. They play hot potato with Kawhi because they don't be wanting that ball when it's late. You know,
but I think why Denny Green is really on the court though. He plays pretty solid defense. So I mean, I can't ignore that. And then also when you look at the rest of Toronto's bench, it's not a whole lot there. Right now they only going 8 deep. They're only playing Powell, Van Fleet, and Serge off the bench. That's it. Ain't nobody else seeing no time.
They ain't letting that boy Lynn Sanity see the court. He gonna see the court in Oakland. He'll see the court in Oakland.
You think so?
I know so. He'll see the court in Oakland. Watch. That population out there, how deep he gonna see that court in Oakland.
No.
Even if it's for a hot second. He'll get out there and fire up a 3. But yeah, man. All right, we talked about Toronto a good bit. Draymond's doing what he can. I mean, I guess it ain't much to say about Golden State. They're getting it how they live with what they have. I'm getting a better appreciation of Steve Kerr with this playoff.
I can respect that.
I'm starting to see. You know, I've been saying the whole time, like, what does he do? They throw the ball out there. I mean, it ain't like they're making adjustments or he's calling plays. I mean, what does he do? It seems like he's had to coach this playoff. It's like he's actually had to coach.
This is where the good ones separate, or the great ones separate themselves from the good ones. It's managing these kind of situations, you know, with all of the injuries and everything. It ain't necessarily about what out of bounds play you call, you know what I'm saying, or those kind of adjustments like we like to think of. It's this other shit. I mean, Boogie went from 3 points, 2 boards, 2 assists in game 1 to 11 points, 10 boards, 6 assists, and being a very vital part of game 2.
I ain't even put for game 1. He only played 8 minutes in game 1. To start him game 2 after playing only 8 minutes in game 1, that took balls right there.
Yeah. But who started? Looney started game 1.
Looney
started game 1. But everything else has been pretty consistent for the Warriors. It's the Raptors that had too much of Jekyll and Hyde going on between game 1 and 2. We already talked about Siakam. Marc Gasol
stands out to me.
Marc Gasol went from 20-7 to 6-6 game 2 with only 7 shot attempts. I think he might have had 4 shot attempts the first quarter, game 1.
Golden State lost this game by 4. No, they won this game by 5 points. You can't give up 15 offensive boards. That kind of kept them alive in the second half, getting them offensive board. They just couldn't hit shit.
Well, yeah, but you know what that balanced out? That balanced out Toronto with all those fucking fouls in the first quarter that kept the Warriors in the game.
Yeah.
You know, because the Warriors are staying in the game from the free throw line. So both teams got a few things that they could clean up. I'm pretty sure Golden State is more feeling very – well, I can't say they're feeling very comfortable. They got a lot of injuries, but they feeling as comfortable as they can feel going back home. And they got a split out of the first 2.
Can you agree that this has been an entertaining finals, the first 2 games compared to the last 2 for Cleveland?
I mean,
I guess with no KD, at least the game. If KD was playing, I think the Golden State be up 2-0 right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even I look at last year. Cleveland had their chance game 1, and that could have totally changed how that series went. It didn't happen, and it was downhill from there. But yeah, this whole entire playoffs has been a little more interesting. The entire East was more interesting, and the West. Any team the Warriors weren't playing was a little interesting. The earlier rounds of the West actually seemed a little more interesting than the later rounds. Golden State just kind of ran through. But we gonna see what's going on. Let's talk about game 3. Or is there anything else that you wanted to add from the first 2 games?
Why didn't they fly KD to Germany like a couple weeks ago?
Get that Dirk surgery?
Yeah, just Dirk broke his leg, people, a couple years ago. He flew to Germany. He was straight, like, by the playoffs. This happened, like, late March. He was good April. But, nah, KD's going to be back out there at some point. Going into Game 3, I saw a couple people say they're going to take Toronto in that game. I don't trust them. I just don't.
I mean, if you got no KD, you got no Clay. I mean, the key thing is if Clay's going to play, which I don't think he is.
So who would they start? Who's their backup to? I don't even know. Is it Quinn Cook? They're going to go small?
They're going to have to go like Steph, Livingston, Iggy.
Sean Livingston get like real minutes. Let me see if I can find who their back. They got to have a backup too. They got to.
It's got to be McKinney. Now that I'm thinking,
There you go. That cat.
They'll put McKinney in. They're probably because he's younger, he can run. Yeah, they're Steph, McKinney, Iggy, Draymond, Boogie.
Boogie, yeah.
Okay,
Boogie got 20 for them to win.
That's
that
the starters. Now, what you bringing off the bench? Jerebko, Quinn Cook.
That's it. And Livingston. So essentially, for them to win that game, Steph got to give them 30. Boogie got to give them 20.
30 ain't gonna cut it. 40.
30, 40? Okay. So if he gives them 40, Boogie gives them 20. Draymond got to give them a triple-double. 15 and 10.
No, I'm about to say not that 10-10-10 shit. Nah.
15 and 10. 17, really. 17, 10, and 10.
And do the math that we just did right quick. That's 40, 20, that's 60, and 17. What's that, 87 points? That ain't going to get it done.
That's not going to get it done.
That ain't going to get it done.
So where can we find another 30 points? Shit.
Hey,
Iggy going to give him 10. So now we need 20.
This is the saving grace. The role players play better at home.
At home, yeah.
McKinney can hit an outside shot. Quinn Cook can hit an outside shot. And he actually plays some pretty solid defense on backup guards. I'll give Quinn Cook that.
Okay, so even if he gave you 10, that leaves you 20. You just got to find 10 from somewhere else. But that's a big old load. You said you need 40 from Steph.
At least
They gotta play some defense. Yeah, I can't argue, but that's like that old shit.
No one else can get their own shot.
Nobody
but him.
Yeah, and if I'm Nick Nurse, I'm throwing everything at him. Everything. I'm taking the ball out of his hands. I would go back and watch that defense they played on Dame to take the ball out of his hands.
I think they have to be. I would do that a lot. But I'd be careful as well because when Steph gets that ball out, he's normally getting it out to Draymond at the top of the key, which allows Draymond to turn, face the defense, and then attack, where he can either finish or get fouled in the lane, or what he really likes to do, what he prefers to do is kick it out. Yeah, he'll throw the lob too, but a lot of times he likes to kick it out to either corner.
Yeah, that's true.
And now you got an okay shooter in Iggy and McKinney who were guarded. Nah, you're not counting on them to hit any threes. But if they're going to end up wide open,
they got to shoot them.
At home, then that could be a little something different.
Yeah. So who you got that game? Who you got?
If Clay, can I give him? I mean, if Clay plays.
We're not on tomorrow, so you got to go now.
If Clay plays, I'm taking the Warriors. If he doesn't play, I'm taking Toronto. I ain't trying to ride the fence.
No, I know. I mean, and that's real. That's real at the end of the day because if Clay doesn't play, because we were struggling to find 100 points.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I just don't know where the points gonna come from. Now, I mean, if Toronto's gonna come out and
let's talk about them. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, if they're gonna beat the baby Dinos. Hey, then we can have one of these 80s, 90s games where, the score is low. Final score 95-89.
So
Knicks Bulls Day.
Are we putting them back as the baby Dinos or they're the Dino hoes?
Look, man. I removed the whole part. I removed that. They got to the finals. but they are still the baby dinos. Go look at my timeline. All my tweets still refer to them as the baby dinos. I don't care. In order to remove it, they're gonna have to win the title.
All right, let's jump into Kawhi.
Okay.
I think I hit you yesterday. I was like, Cuz has no lift. Like, none. And you was like, well, shit, them double and triple teams ain't helping. But did he not look tired to you in the late third and the fourth?
He is laboring a little bit, but as much as it's kind of visible, he's not really letting it affect him, and I don't know how.
Yeah,
because I looked up game 2, and he had 30 points, and I'm like, how? Where? When did he score?
What? Now you know with Kawhi was it game 1 he took 12 free throws, game 2 16 free throws. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Hell, people act like Jordan just scored 8 every quarter. Jordan shot a lot of free throws too. There's nothing wrong with getting free throws. But I just seemed like late, he had no lift on them jump shots. None. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they were collapsing everything to him in the lane. Everything.
That's going to do a lot, man. So, like I said, Toronto, Siakam, and Siakam and Pascal, same person. Yeah. Pascal and Lowry and Gasol in particular, those three, they've got to give their game 1 performances for the rest of this series. Serge Ibaka
right here. I'm putting this gun to your head right now. Who steps up for Toronto? Somebody got to be number 2. Who's gonna step up game 3? That you putting everything on the line, saying you know they're gonna step up.
Marc Gasol.
That's a damn shame.
I really want to say Kyle Lowry. Honestly.
You know that crowd's gonna be stupid, right? Them dudes might them role players might mess around and ball tomorrow and hit everything. It gotta be Lowry, dog. It has to be Lowry.
I really think it does have to be him. The dude that I know he had to go decompress, and I clown him about that all the time. But I think it's got to be him. I would say Siakam. But Siakam is still a fairly young player. He's still trying to figure some things out when the shit is on this level. And if Draymond is gonna lock him down, which I'm assuming that he probably will, especially being at home, E40 gonna be in the building.
Tell me when to go.
Shit. It's got to be Kyle Lowry.
MC Hammer gonna be there too.
It's got to be Kyle Lowry because Steph is not a lockdown defender. If Klay's not gonna be there, you ain't got to worry about him being switched out on you. If you can't beat Quinn Cook,
but it's like we know it should be him, but we ain't expecting that shit. We're not expecting it at all.
When you said put a gun to your head, I just might be dead.
Well, I might go with you on the Gasol thing. The reason why I say that slows the game down. If you throw the ball down low, let them run the offense through him, they can't run. Maybe that's what they need to do.
But does that keep? See, I was trying to put together our lineup. Maybe Toronto should go small because if you play Gasol a lot, I think that kind of helps the Warriors with Boogie.
That's a good point.
Because Boogie's the liability really on defense.
Start Surge or make Boogie move.
You got to make Boogie move.
Because Boogie can't move side to side, people. He can go forwards.
That shit ain't happening.
Side to side no more. So
side to side ain't happening.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're gonna see. Nurse got to make an adjustment this game. We're gonna see what it's gonna be. But that I'm leaning toward maybe go small. Yeah, especially while the Warriors hurt. Yeah.
But their smalls are better because if I'm trying to win that game, I might start Van Vliet, bring Danny Green off the bench. If I'm trying to jump on them and go small, start him and Serge. Move Gasol and Green to the bench.
I'm saying unless they just swap Gasol and Serge and leave everything else, leave the other starters as they are. Okay. And bring Gasol, Powell, and Van Fleet off the bench. Because I think Van Fleet and Gasol could probably work some things on that pick and roll.
Absolutely.
I think they can work some things on the pick and roll that can, that can help them. So we'll see.
Absolutely. We're still saying Warriors in 6.
I am. I stick with my pick until it's mathematically not possible. Then I'll adjust it. But
Yeah.
I still got Warriors in 6.
I believe that. I think they need this somewhat of a legacy thing for them. And it's gonna look bigger if they do this with all these injuries.
They always say two things. The fall or the unraveling of a dynasty, so to speak, when it comes to an end, it always typically comes to a hard season where you've lost more games than you expected to lose. Teams are playing you closer. And most importantly, injuries start to happen.
Yep.
So we see those things happening. But at the same time, go ask Pat Riley and them Laker teams, back in the day. Go ask who else has three-peated. The Lakers. Yeah. Go ask them. They'll tell you that the third leg of a three-peat is always so fucking hard to do.
Yeah, because you went through hell to get to that point.
If they get this one, I think this one would be the most satisfying to them because, people still kind of look at the first one. Well, Cavs didn't have Kyrie and Kevin Love. And then the other two that they got, well, you had to call KD for help. So
does
this one here.
They get this one. Does that push them ahead of Shaq and Kobe and them teams?
No. Stop it.
I love them Shaq and Kobe teams too, but that's 4. And this one here, off of the injuries, I hate comparing eras. I hate doing that, but we got to start looking at this team as an all-time team.
I have to think about that a little bit more, but I will give you this, and I have thought about this.
Go ahead.
I thought about those the great teams that we think about. Most of them have three-peats.
Yeah.
And to get to that table, that greatest team ever table, I think you need a three-peat.
I'll tell you something I've been thinking on. This is straight blasphemy. We're going to move off of this. I'm kind of coming around to the fact that just maybe Steph is better than Isaiah Thomas. That's hard for me to say.
I can't go there.
I've been carrying Isaiah flag since we was in 9th grade.
That's why this is like surprising. outside of shooting, which we know hands down, that's Steph.
I guess I'm just looking at
what else he do better than Isaiah.
The winning aspect of it, the things he's done to get them there. Isaiah did go through a harder road going through Chicago, getting to Boston.
Well, Boston first, yeah.
Going there. But I guess maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment in this finals, this playoff run. Because, I ain't never said – I've been a Steph fan, but I'm like, okay, well, he ain't Isaiah. But I guess I don't look at him as a point. Steph is a guard. Cats who sit there and say he's the greatest point guard, Steph ain't no point. He's a guard. He's not. Right. He ain't initiating the offense. That's not him. But I don't know. I'm starting to come around to that. I could be wrong, and I'm an Isaiah fan. So.
And for me, without just off the top of my head, one thing I thought about, and we talked about it last show, episode 173. I can still go check that out, people.
Please do.
Never had to hide Isaiah on defense.
But hell, during that time period, what point guard was cooking? It was a different game then too.
Yeah.
If we're talking apples to apples, Steph changed the NBA. I can't discount that. The shooting thing changed the NBA. I don't think Isaiah gets the credit for getting 2 titles back to back in that era with Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. But you know what? That's for another show when we got time.
I can go in on that because I don't think Steph changed the NBA. I think the shooting, everybody going to this spread offense and shooting changed the NBA, which I give credit to. I think we both gave credit to, if we go back a few weeks, months, or whatever, to Dirk.
I was gonna say Dirk with the bigs, but yeah, I mean technically. Well, you know what? If I'm gonna say that, I watched the thing on YouTube today about Run TMC. This offense they're running now, Don Nelson was doing that with Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, and Mitch Richmond years ago. The whole spread with smaller cats, just skill. So
Yeah.
it could go. I look at Steph as I've become a more of a fan during this playoff run than I've ever been. You know, I ain't care for the whole, oh, Steph's a sweet guy, but then he's shimmying in folks' face. As soon as somebody put their hands on him, everybody feels sorry for him. So that's his thing. So let's keep it moving. DeMar DeRozan did an interview and he basically came out and said that he was the sacrificial lamb in order for Toronto to move forward. I wouldn't have said that shit.
Stop bitching.
I wouldn't have said that shit. Hey, maybe had LeBron not swept y'all last year, just maybe, you would still be on that team. Got to get a game, dog. Got to get a game. They're paying you $28 million. You got to get a game. They weren't even playing them in the fourth quarter of them games.
I was about to say you just getting benched in the fourth quarter, man. You're an all-star. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Can't hear that. And shout out to you, but that's no bueno. All right, let's keep moving to this dumpster fire at the Lakers. We ain't got to talk long about this. Everybody that they interviewed for the head coaching position is pretty much now on the coaching staff. Lionel Hollins joined today. So now you got 3 head coaches who had moderate success. Frank Vogel, Jason Kidd, and Lionel Hollins. Who is the adult in the room?
Oh, it's definitely Lionel Hollins. Ain't nobody whipping his ass in the coaching room. That goes without saying. He's the disciplinarian in this situation.
He really don't take no shit. He really don't.
He remind me of Mike Woodson.
Yeah, Mike Woodson will fight your ass.
Yeah, Lionel Hollins will square up on your ass.
So I don't know what they're doing. We ain't got to talk. I just don't know what they're doing in LA. I don't.
I mean, he's third? He gonna be third chair? Yeah, whatever.
I'm just not getting a whole lot of dudes that you interview for the same job and sitting them next to me. But man, he probably had no choice. Shit.
I'm about to say if you can't get a super coach and some decent assistants, I guess the next best thing is to have all decent coaches across the board, and maybe that will give you a solid unit. I don't know.
Did you hear that Avery Johnson is interviewing to be on the Philly staff?
To do what?
Assistant coach. Avery Johnson wasn't bad.
I would say let me not disrespect Avery Johnson.
Yeah, you had like little Avery didn't win a coach of the year. All that tells me is they was close. They were gonna let old boy go before. All that tells me is he fuck up this year. He's gone, and Avery's in place. Avery gonna be Ben Simmons' best friend. He gonna stay after practice and work with him. He gonna be Embiid's friend. Gonna be on Snapchat with him and shit. Stuff here in Philly, y'all got to get some stuff done.
Yeah,
y'all got to get some stuff done. First thing you got to do is go ahead and give Jimmy that 190. It's July 1st, whenever that is. Just show up at wherever he's at. Just have it in cash. That'd be dope. Jimmy'd be happy if he had it in cash. All right, next up, Kyrie Irving. This quote of his, Hermetic Friends Incorporated. My light brothers and sisters, the age of no more secrets is upon us. World peace will be achieved in our lifetime. We better effing believe it. Let them have all the fabricated bullshit. That genuine love and energy spread all over the world. I see all I am.
I was with him up until the I see all I am.
Yeah.
LA is made for this dude. I'm telling you.
He gotta go back. He gotta go to Bron, man.
With the weed, the snow bunnies, the Scientology that I think that he would love.
Yes. He's into acting. They'll make Uncle Drew.
I think LA is perfect for him. I don't care how many reports come out saying that he's 75% leaning toward the Brooklyn Nets. We don't know what the fuck he's gonna do.
Yeah, we really don't know. I tell you what, the draft is in 16 days. That's going to determine a lot. Anthony Davis is getting traded before the draft. That's happening before the draft.
Yeah, you saw those talks got rehashed today, right? Like
we said that last week. I mean, y'all bought him and Rich a free meal, and he hit you a couple days later with the thank you but no thank you. We saw it coming. You wasted your time. So
I understand, Griffin. You had to do your due diligence. You had to do it just to say you did it. Now you can move on. So we'll see what kind of deals start coming down the pipe.
June 20th, he's either going to be a New York Knick or a Los Angeles Laker. One or the other.
That's
one or the other. Because that trade has to happen by the draft, so they can control who they get. It has to happen by them. Let's talk about your boy, old open gym coach, D'Antoni. I think we were on here last Wednesday or Thursday. We were talking about how the talks, he was looking for an extension, but there was some stuff in between it. They didn't know what they wanted to do. Well, Friday it came out that Mike D'Antoni broke off the talks for the extension because they hit him with some, you win in this round, it's an incentive. You know what? I felt the type of way when it happened, but then I thought about it, I was like, well, shit. Hell, they came at Ty Lue with a 3-year deal. Maybe, just maybe, the owners of these teams are starting to understand this is a players' league.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe they're looking at it that way. So, shit, why am I giving you 5 years if you can't even control these cats while they on the court? Let's do a solid 3 and move from there. Now, that whole per round shit, I
think that's the part that really kind of that was like, that's so disrespectful because
that's very disrespectful.
Ty Lue was trying to get hired to come into a situation. That's only already there. You got into a Western Conference Finals. They went to the second round of semifinals this year or whatever. But to give, even though he hasn't won shit of real significance, how do you come at a coach like this with an incentive-laden deal like this is his first gig or his second gig or something? That lets me know that they don't want him there. He's a lame duck.
Right. So if you got the dude dead man walking already, he's doing this. Why is he still there?
Everybody going through the motions. It's like one of them situations, you and this chick don't get along no more. You know that this relationship is over, but the end of the lease ain't here yet.
Absolutely. But even with that, I mean, he took the first step in the I'm about to get fired handbook. He fired his assistants. They always do that. So he's getting fired next year. That unless they got to win the title next year.
Hey, I'll tell you.
Maybe they make the finals. They make the finals. He keep his job.
Let me say something. Let them start next year like they did this year. Because remember, they started out on some bullshit this year, and then James Harden put on that damn Superman cape
and saved them.
Saved their ass.
And that's right. They talking to Ty Lue about being the head assistant. Mike D'Antoni. I don't work at places before. I remember this job I quit. I gave him a 15-minute notice. I was working for this company, and I started taking my shit out the office like that week, so it wouldn't be shit when I left. Mike, right. If they hire Ty Lue, don't have none of your kids' pictures, none of your personal shit there, because as soon as it go the wrong way, what's the backup quarterback always doing? Cause what's warming up, just getting ready. If Ty Lue gets a job with Houston, you're done. You're done.
Because they, like I said, I don't understand what they're waiting on.
He should have been the first domino to fall. He should have.
I really hope that they don't have this in their head that they can actually trade Chris Paul.
Well, I don't know. I ain't believe this shit at first, but it's like some suckers out there. LeBron, I'm looking in the camera. LeBron, please don't talk to them folks into doing that. Don't. Lonzo Ball better than Chris Paul right now.
I think you need to be talking to Rob Pelinka. The LeBron having a really big impact, I think them days is done.
I kind of feel like, I take that back. Yeah,
that was Cleveland days. I don't think he has any. Like I said, they might ask, "Hey, what you think about this?" But I think that's about it.
Yeah, and I think this whole situation with the Lakers, with Bron, is gonna make folks go back to them 1-1s. Because if Bron had that 1-1, he had that power right now.
Hey, if Bron had a 1-1 right now, a free agent class with LeBron, KD, Kyrie, Jimmy Butler.
Hey, because when they got him to sign that 4, they put that young Dro on. Fuck that bitch. He ain't got nothing to say no more.
And and we joking about it, but this is exactly why I'm in favor of the player control and those short deals with the player options. Because as soon as he signed on for a long-term deal, this is the kind of fuckery that goes on.
He lost all his power.
If he had a 1-on-1 deal, I bet you Magic Johnson wouldn't have quit this year.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So they know he there. He has a no trade clause for the first time. He a regular dude at this point.
He's a cat trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
They ain't telling him shit. And I'm so surprised because it went left with that. All right.
But if they are smart, they'll have him in some form or fashion involved in these pitches to these players. Not that they need him, because I'm pretty sure he's been on that iPad and on that phone already. You know, LeBron is the king of tampering.
But you said it last week, though. Well, it might have been when we was talking on the side. This whole free agent thing is so silly. All this speculation, all of it, it's silly. One thing needs to happen that'll change the course of everything. Anthony Davis. I'm only re-signing with the Lakers. If you trade for me, it's a rental.
Yeah.
I'm out in July of 2020. If he says that, why would you give up assets?
That's why Boston, ever since that shit came out where he put out his list in the middle of the season and his dad said what he said.
That was weak on his part, though. That was weak on AD's part. He was being young.
It was, but whether it was weak or strong or a power move or whatever, it was how he felt. It was how his circle feel. I'm not talking
about his daddy. I'm talking about AD at the All-Star game. I never said that. I never said I wouldn't play for anybody. That was sucker shit. It was already out there that you weren't gonna go there. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't answer no questions at that point, because you giving folks hope. Just say I'm gonna be a Laker. Well, I guess he couldn't say that because that's tampering. Players can't get tampering charges, can they? Just
it can be a little sticky. Yeah, they're not supposed. They can't. Matter of fact, no, it ain't no sticky.
Yeah,
if you want a contract with a team, you can't talk about being on another team. No, you can't do that. But
so when you said that the other day, he's like, "Well, that's all he gotta do. He kills it off. He just say that, and that's the truth."
Yeah, and that's what I think it boils down to. I mean, Danny Ainge is a lot of things. A suckle is not one of them. I can't see him trading major assets for a rental. I don't care if Paul George stayed in Oklahoma City last year.
They only gave up 2 players. They ain't give up 3 or 4 first-round picks and players. And these offers I've been seeing, I don't understand. I'm not giving up 3 or 4 first-round picks and like 3 dudes for anybody. I don't give a damn. I'm not. That makes no sense to me. None. At all. Kawhi Leonard got traded for 2 dudes and a late first. But you're going to give up all that for Anthony Davis?
And the thing that I'm not going to say it hasn't been talked about at all, but it's been talked about very little. Even we've mentioned it very little. This is for a dude that's kind of injury prone.
He's hurt a lot, people. A lot.
Okay.
You know, one playoff run, one legit playoff run. You know, they played Golden State. So he's been to the playoffs twice. He got swept one year. He went on a run that later year, but he gets hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we gonna see what happens with that. I'm still thinking the NBA gonna look out some kind of way because LeBron James got to be in the playoffs. He got to. So
I mean, I think he can get what he got now to the playoffs.
Yeah, they could have made it last year if they were helping. They sure could have. But I want to see LeBron competing. That's what I want to see. But let me, we're not running long, are we?
No, we good, man.
Okay.
We run.
How do you think that works out? With if let's just say, fantasy talk. If you got LeBron, Kyrie, and AD on that team, are they gonna put him on that Chris Bosh shit and put him in the corner to shoot corner threes? How does that work out?
The person that's gotta adapt, change their game is LeBron.
Okay, that's right.
You know, we've been saying it the last couple of years, and he's in Cleveland. We definitely said it last year, his first year in LA, especially with the team that they put around him. We figured, is he finna start going to the post more, playing down low, playing differently? Is he going to give up some of the dominance of having the basketball in his hands?
Right.
They started out that way a little bit, but as the season went on, then he went back and reverted back to what he's used to. But yeah, I don't want to see Anthony Davis turn into Chris Bosh.
I don't want to see that either. But I also feel like they're not getting Kyrie if they don't get AD. I kind of feel that way.
That could be part. So let me. Do you think that Kyrie wants to play with AD more than he does LeBron?
I'm looking long game if I'm Kyrie. What you say, Brian got 3 years? He might have 4 or 5, but I'm saying 3.
I mean, at an elite level, probably that. But I mean, what do you average last year? 28, 8, and 7.
That's crazy that I'm saying this shit. And he averaged 28, 8, and 8 last year.
I said, if we're talking at elite level, then yeah, 3 years tops.
So that's their team in 3 years.
But he's gonna be elite. He's gonna be elite for a minute.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
But I kind of feel like if they get that done in the next 14 days, which they're trading for him, which means they still got their cap space. I think they'll get Kyrie if they get AD.
Oh, no, that definitely puts them in the driver's seat. That definitely puts them in the driver's seat. That's why, even
I got a crazy question for you too, though.
We ain't gonna talk about their dysfunction and all that too much tonight because we even covered that more than enough.
Yeah,
but that's why so much of the dysfunction talk is really just fodder and filler at this point. Because if that AD trade happens next week or a day or two before the draft, the narrative is going to totally change. It ain't gonna matter that Frank Vogel is the coach and he got 2 dudes that interviewed on for the job as assistants.
Nope.
The topic then gonna be, oh shit,
right?
Shit.
How many games with LeBron and them kids if he was healthy? You think they could have beat Portland in 7? I kind of do.
Talking about this past playoff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what people talking about. Oh, it's terrible in LA. If he was healthy, him and them kids, I think they could have beat Dame and them.
I mean, look, and I've said this, and if you want to at me, people, you can. I've been saying for a number of years when all this talk, and the West is stronger than the East. Don't get me wrong.
You have been saying it for years, though.
But it's top heavy. These Portlands and Utahs and OKCs, these teams are not winning titles.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? When LeBron James come on the court, that's 2 playoff wins right there. That's him by himself. That's 2 out of the 4 playoff wins.
Hey, okay.
Hey, I'm just saying. What you tell the homie the other day? He took Tristan Thompson, Delly,
and some
suckers. 6 games with the Warriors in the finals with no Kevin Love and no Kyrie.
He did do that. Yeah, he did do that.
Okay.
I can't flex. Let me ask you this though. Last thing before we get off this fantasy talk, I'm gonna do a little bit of football and be done. If you're the Lakers, would you entertain Kemba over Kyrie?
Only if Kyrie is not an option any longer.
Now Kyrie kind of got the injury bug too, though. Kemba ain't never been hurt. You're looking at 4-year deals on both.
Okay, virtually the same money.
It's the same money because they're not Supermax. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving Kyrie the edge because he's played with LeBron before.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't that conjunction that they have is priceless. It would take Kemba and LeBron a little while to figure each other out because Kemba, just like I would compare that to, and I'm shooting off the top, so I may be wrong, but I think I'm right or kind of right. LeBron and Wade had some games that they had to get under their belt before they figured each other out.
At least the first 20, if I'm not mistaken.
Kemba got a kind of Dwayne Wade kind of game. You know what I'm saying? To a degree.
With a better jumper.
Yeah. So I think you would have that filling out process. And Kemba's not as good as Dwayne Wade.
But you know what? That was a dumbass question on my part because your boy is going to give him $221 million.
Man. I commented on a thread on Twitter the other day. And most of the time I don't. If I have something to say about a tweet I see, I'll retweet it with comment and put my comment on. I don't really get into the thread. Mm-hmm. But I commented in the thread because they was talking about Michael Jordan paying Kemba Walker his Supermax.
I can't see it though. I can't.
And I had to interject and be like, the cheap owner with the piss eyes is not paying that shit.
It's not happening.
It's
not for 38 wins. I'm saying 38 on the high side.
And the Supermax is getting more and more. I think by the time the end of that Supermax deal would be like 48, close to 50 million.
Did we talk about Rudy Gobert? Did we talk about him, what he could get with the Supermax? It'd be like 60 million a year one of them years. Did we talk about that shit?
Man, I couldn't even entertain that. No, we did talk about it. I couldn't even entertain it.
Yeah. Utah, don't do that shit. Y'all bidding against yourselves. Don't do that shit.
We'll bring it up again with come free agency talk. But let's keep it pushing.
Yeah, let's get done with this. My Carolina Panthers, we signed Gerald McCoy last night. Now, I want to say you asked me about this last week on the show, and I was kind of like, nah, he going to go to Cleveland. Cleveland's hot right now. They're winning the offseason. Baker's there. OBJ is there. People, the power of revenge won again. And my Panthers are going to reap the benefits of Gerald McCoy wanting to hurt Tampa Bay 2 times a year. $8 million 1 year is not a long-term deal. We'll see. I wasn't looking for it. This happened. I still want a safety, but that happened. My main question, football-wise, well, how you feel about that move for my team? Quickly.
I didn't watch. I only watched like half of y'all games last year. But from what I gathered, powers that be were not entirely happy with what Dontari Poe brought to the table last year.
No.
And so they felt that they needed to upgrade that position. I don't know. I was asking you in Big Q on Twitter a little bit earlier. Shout out to Big Q over there, Big Boy. JB, what's up? But I was asking you what you think is going to happen with Poe, because I had read before McCoy signed that if McCoy signs, that Poe is going to be either put on the trade block or cut because of the number that he carries from what they signed him for last year. Now they're going to pay him and McCoy whatever the dollar figure may be.
Yeah. Poe is actually making more than McCoy. He's at $9 million a year.
Okay, so he's definitely probably think of restructure or pay cut, or you
remember I came on here a couple months ago and I was like, why in the hell did we pick up Torrey Smith's option for $5 million? Well, they took $3 million back from him. Yeah, the NFL, they take that money back if they want to. But we are moving to a hybrid 3-4. So maybe we play these cats. Don Terry has to show up at this point because your replacement was signed yesterday.
Yep.
And so you have to show up at some point. Main thing I want to talk about was I'm starting to think we're going to have 18 regular season games soon. It seems like this is going to happen.
We'll see. I guess they're gonna try to put that in the new contract.
They're throwing it out there now.
2020. So we'll see.
Players gonna agree to that shit, aren't they?
They're gonna try not to, probably.
Yeah, because when Goodell came out, I was like the other day, I was like, yeah, we don't need 4 preseason games. I was like, yeah, they playing that in the media right now. We gonna see. The money add up. The players definitely gonna take it. I don't know if I got anything else NFL wise. Lev showed up to camp today. He put on the jersey. Lev was gonna show up when he told y'all he was gonna come. Odell showed up today to the mandatory, not voluntary, mandatory. Two different words.
Start telling me now when people not showing up.
Yeah. Them dudes in Detroit, Snacks and Darius Slay.
And Darius Slay, they ain't show up to the mandatory. We want to talk about that, then talk about that. But I don't care about
if that's me. They said they both could lose $88,000. I think I'd show up and say I tweaked my hamstring and not practice.
88,000? That's it?
I mean, you know what? Maybe I'm looking at this from a small lens. $88,000 sounds like a whole lot of money to a cat.
I'm saying to those two.
Yeah.
Now,
88,000 a piece.
Yeah, to those two players, yeah, they can eat that no problem. They should be able to.
I'm trying to think if I got anything else NFL. Not really.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, but
camp about around the way.
But regardless of how much money you have, because the Players Association is already telling you to start saving money for an upcoming lockout, possibly. 88,000 is a good bit of chunk of change, so I definitely see your point. hey, just show up and show up and get on the bike. Just show up and get on the bike.
Man, I sit there and get on that bench. Damn, I pull a back muscle. I'm here though. You know.
And you and the homie get together, be workout partners in the weight room. Be like, hey, on the count of 3, we're gonna drop these weights. It's gonna make a loud ass sound.
Yep.
You get on the floor and scream. I'll vouch for you.
Hey, did you see that story about Calvin Johnson?
Right.
Hey. Hey, Detroit. Calvin made it clear. Y'all want me back in the fold? Y'all know what y'all need to do. Give my bread back.
We'll put him back in the fold to do what?
Right. I mean, it's not like y'all got a winning tradition. He can come out and y'all still gonna lose on Thanksgiving Day. Y'all still the ass game we gotta watch first on Thanksgiving Day.
As long as they don't wear them fucking Power Ranger uniforms they used to wear some years back.
Yeah.
Don't bring them shits back. Don't bring them shits back.
All right, let's get up out of here.
All right, let's get up out of here. People, we appreciate y'all tuning in, man. That is it for episode 174 of the AA Sports, Straight Sports Chaser podcast. I thought it was Kate got something. What's up?
We shout out to Juwan Howard. We meant to bring him up last week. Juwan Howard from the Fab Five got brought back as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Shout out to him. My question to you is, Jalen Rose keeps saying the beef is over. I ain't heard Chris Webber say shit. Like, nothing.
Oh, I mean, I haven't heard him say anything either. I mean, as long
it should
as
be over. They're grown. It should be.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they can come together at the university, put on a pretty face for the camera, that's all that really needs to happen. They don't
that
even
shit
have to
never works out with former players, does it? Taking over the schools, coaches, it never really works out. Stars, at least.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how many stars, though, have actually, like, really high-profile stars.
I like Juwan, though. He done paid his dues.
Going to really high-profile schools like that, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But there was thing I forgot to bring it up. We was talking about Kawhi earlier. This thing about him and his logo, it came out that he's suing Nike.
My dumb ass looked at that logo. Why I didn't know that? Did you know that was a K and an L? Looking at it.
I didn't really pay too much attention to it because it just looked kind of basic to me.
It looked like a hand. I looked at that shit today. They was like, that's his initials. I looked at it. I said, oh, shit. It really is. Okay.
Oh, the thing that looks like a hand is actually a K and an L?
It's a K and an L.
Oh, okay. I have to look a
chance. It makes sense now. I was like, okay, I get it. So.
Gotcha. But the now Kawhi is saying that they that Nike copyrighted the logo without his consent. He designed it before he was going to Nike. What was also interesting, because I actually read this last week, and I meant to bring it up last week, but I forgot. The rumor is that the Clippers want to purchase the logo from Nike to use it as a bargaining chip to get Kawhi to come to the Clippers, saying if they purchase the logo from Nike for him, they'll purchase it. If he comes to the Clippers, they'll give him the rights to it back.
Can they do that?
Yeah, they can. They can, yeah. But Kawhi is saying, basically, you ain't got to purchase something for me and give it back to me. It's mine anyway.
But that's kind of how that shit goes, though. It's like you watch that show on TV, Unsung. Sometimes on BT, you notice it's always one member of the group who's really smart and goes and copyrights all the shit, and then they own it, and like everybody be mad, but they own it. Nike just got ahead of the game with that.
Well, see, but this is the thing, though. This is the little caveat in the lawsuit that we'll see if it ends up having legs or not. But Kawhi's camp is saying that Nike forged the paperwork and everything, saying that they designed the logo.
Oh,
which is how they was able to ultimately get the copyright. Under them. Yeah, they said that one of their designers designed it, which is how they was ultimately able to get the copyright. Kawhi saying, hell no. I designed this logo before I even was with y'all.
Uncle Dennis ain't having that.
So that's the issue that we got over the logo. So that's gonna be very interesting.
Did you hear those stories about him saying that he bought property in Toronto and he's actually considering a short-term deal?
Like I said, I don't care about none of these rumors that's coming out. All I know is as we said at the top of the show, of Jay-Z's $1 billion investments or his net worth or whatever, $50 million that is in real estate, you can have properties at any point,
that's true.
anywhere
That's
in the
very
world
true.
you want to.
That's very true. Yeah, you 100 on that.
Because I want to say that I heard, because remember the property that he bought, I think it was supposedly in L.A. at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Come to find out that property was actually in San Diego.
Oh.
And I've heard, I don't know how true this part is, but that he's actually put it back on the market. So I don't know how much we can follow the properties.
We'll know in July.
Yes, sir.
Or really by the draft, we'll know a lot. But yeah.
We'll start to see some dominoes fall. All right, people, we appreciate y'all tuning in, hanging in with us tonight. Again, episode 174, AA Sportscast. Continue to check us out on the Spreaker or iTunes platform. Likewise, also to continue to watch us on the YouTube channel. Uncle Hake, tell these good people where they can reach you at on social media to talk sports.
At ReK6000, holla at me. I talk sports.
Right, you can find me as well. I'm at Diego Barisham on Twitter. Don't forget to check out
40 in this bitch tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Happy birthday to the boy. Y'all give my boy some birthday shout outs. Check us out on IG and Facebook as well. Shout out to the Urban Arena crew. All right, for your boy Uncle Hake, for your boy Diego Barishnikov. We are AA Sports, baby. Straight sports, no chaser. We up out of here. Holla at y'all next week. Final should be coming to an end by then. Peace.